Hey everyone, I'm now up to the point of putting the hardtop back on. So up there I've got the roll cage or ROPS in, and I've got the side panels down here. See the areas there where I've cut out to go around the ROP system. So to do this, I measured up, put the sides on, cut off a little bit at a time, kept on going until I got it right. Cuts are not very good, that's alright, I can cover that up. And I've done the same to the roof. The sides were a bit easier, it's all aluminium there, pretty thin. But up here on the roof, it was a little bit trickier, and also had to make sure I'm going a bit steady because I didn't want to go through the actual outer skin of the roof. So I've got in the ROPS here, ready to go. Using the car hoist, so I'm going to hoist the vehicle up so it gets under the roof, and that way, because I've got it on hanging from some ratchet straps, I can adjust it either front, right, left, to make sure it's going to sit right, because it is quite a hard thing to do to put on by yourself. So by using the hoist and the ratchet straps, it's going to sort of act as that second person, even though it's going to take a bit more time than what two people would to do it. I'm up to the point of putting the seal on. Just got to go around and put some sort of glue, or I'm just going to use some gasket glue just to hold it in place while I put on the sides and when the roof comes on. Once the sides are on and the roof's on and it's all bolted down, it'll be fine. It's just to hold it there while that's happening, especially because I'm doing this by myself. So that's why I'm using that gasket glue. I've just got it there. It's nice and blue, easy to see. Just finished putting down the seal with all the gasket glue on there just to hold it in place. It's not really to stick it down permanently, it's just there to hold it, just so I can put on the side panel. So I'm just going to put the driver's side on first, and then I'll go over and do the passenger side. This is the left hand side. You can see where I've cut around for the ROPS, and down lower, and that's for the other part. I've also had to cut around the part where the seatbelt bracket is. Have to also allow enough room for the bolt that goes through for the seatbelt. And the driver's side, sitting up a little bit at the moment. It's mainly just sitting on those aerial mounts. I've just put the 4 corner nuts on, so there's one there, same over there, and then there's the 2 at the front near the seatbelt area. So there's one, and the other one's in there somewhere behind the seatbelt. So I've just put them on loose, just finger tight, just so I've got a bit more movement for when I put the roof on. But so far it's looking pretty good. But this next part's a bit fiddly. I remember putting it on the first time, and it is a bit of a tight fit, especially doing it by yourself. I'll take you and show you just how it's sitting. So it's close, but it's just a little bit twisted. I'm hoping that I'll be able to get that as I do it up. I'm worried that this gap here means that it's sitting on top of the ROPs and I haven't taken enough away. One spot to check is just here. See if I can get that a bit more square on. So that's pretty close to where it's got to be. You can see over there, I don't know if you can see, there's a little bit of light coming through, which means it's not quite sitting down, but as I said, I'm hoping that that will just be as I do it up. So you can see there's quite a gap there. A little bit on the other side. This is the part I'm worried about up here, touching. There's also a little bit just in there. I don't know if you can see. Anyway, I'm going to try and do a few bolts up. Probably start from either the front or start at one corner and work my way around, but probably try and do the front too. And see how that goes, because I know the front can be quite hard to line up later if everything else is tight. I got the hardtop on last night, but I thought I'd just show you this morning with a bit more daylight. It actually went on pretty easily in the end. The hardest part was putting the bottom of the side panels onto the tub, and I'll show you why that is in a moment. But otherwise it actually went on pretty well. The gaps up the front on both sides, see if we can get that there. Both the same, and it's small enough that the seal will go around it quite easily. I ended up doing the front first, and so I put some of these like captive nuts really, and so I put a couple of those on, and then I did these side ones that go on to the windscreen mount onto the roof, because I remember from last time they can be a bit difficult. So I did those first. They ended up going on really easily this time, which is great. And then I went around and did the ones around the roof to the top of the side panels. There's quite a few of them, but they're pretty easily done. Had two ratchets with 10 mils on them. I've actually got two 10 mils, unlike a lot of people who don't even have one. And did that, didn't have too many problems. At the start there was a couple that weren't aligned properly. Just put the screwdriver up and wriggled the panels together, and from there on it was quite easily done. It is touching the roof up here, but it doesn't seem too bad. So I didn't want to cut the rock system to fit on the roof, so I'm just going to see how it goes. I'm hoping I don't have to pull it out again to do some other adjustments. I'll show you why the side panels to the tub were a bit of an issue for me because of the way I'm doing it. Usually on a hardtop, a long wheelbase hardtop, you've got two of these. One goes there and the other just there. So usually you put 2 of these on, they go just like that. But because of this riv nut insert style thing here, it is fouling a bit on it. And what I've decided to do instead is put 2 bolts here, which there's already spots for them to go through. I just had to drill out here because that's the aerial mount on the other side. So I've got all those in. You can see it is bending it down a little bit, so I can always loosen them off a bit if I think it needs to. So I've got 2 there and 2 there. Now on this side, these ones I was struggling to get in, because what you have to do is from the other side push on it to push it in to line the holes up. And these ones I was just struggling to get to with having one hand on the outside and the other hand coming through there over the ROPs to try and line it all up. So I'm just going to wait until I've got someone else and I'll put those in. But otherwise it's all done, ready to go. So I'll just give you a bit of a look around. Ignore the wild cuts. They end up getting covered up later on with what I'm going to do, put a false floor platform system in. So you won't end up seeing the cuts anyway. I was wondering whether to put some sort of brace across here just to join these 2 parts up. It seems pretty sturdy, but beforehand there was a bar that would run through there, which I cut. So I'm just wondering whether I should put some sort of a brace over there. It wouldn't be very hard to do at all. And the vents in the roof just missed the ROPs, which is good because I completely forgot about that. So the next job I have to do is put the passenger side seatbelt mount in. So you can see it goes just there. Got that large cutout area. Not sure yet how I'm going to go about hiding that so it doesn't look quite so ugly. But anyway, that's what I've got to do now, and then I'm going to take it for a drive, which has been a fair while since I've taken it for a drive. So this is the old seatbelt bracket. It'd have 2 bolts up there, and then it'd come down there somewhere, I think. So this is the old bracket, which is standard on hardtops, and I've just got to take that off. And to get this cap off just here, there's 2 ways. I found the best way was just to stick a screwdriver through that gap and it pops it out. Otherwise you can put a screwdriver across that and lift it out as well, but I found that flexes a bit more where this is more direct on where the tab part is that's holding it in. Anyway, I'll get that off and I'll put it in the new spot and then drive time. And I found it too hard using the ratchet and spinner, so I'm going to use this other technique. So using the ring end on the back side, which is a 16, and then 19. I actually find using the spinner end or the open end a bit easier. If you put them just like that, then what you can actually do is squeeze them together to undo. Alright, now I've got it. That's a really good method to use because you're only using the one hand then to actually squeeze them together. And if you need to, if it's loose on the other end, you can hold it with the other hand. So that's what it looks like. You can see it's a little bit different. It's got that extra bit there, not thread all the way, washer, and then a nut. So I'll just use those 2 when I go to put it on the ROP system. Now that I've got the hardtop on, I'm up to the stage of putting the seat door seals on. The old ones were falling apart a bit. The driver's side wasn't too bad, but the passenger side was falling apart and kept breaking. So I got some new ones. Not the most preferred manufacturer, but I got them a while ago for a fairly cheap price, obviously. So we'll see how they go. Now the only hard parts really of doing it is just around this curve around the pillar on the front and back, and also manoeuvring the door so you can actually get to it. So start with the 2 corners. The other one was a little bit too long on one side, which was fine because I could cut it off. But on the other side it was about 15-20 mil short. So there's a bit of a gap down there. Not that it matters in this, but in something else more important it would. Alright.